Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Wilfred from Prospel Philippines. We at Prospel Philippines help students and graduates connect with the top employers in the country by providing a careers directory platform made for students and graduates. So I'd like to extend a big thank you to everyone present here. We at Prospel Philippines work together with the top employers and top universities in the country to bring you the first Career Jumpstart Sessions 2022. So this is a free event that we are organizing regularly to help students, graduates, and career shifters begin or advance your careers. So to keep yourself in the loop, make sure you sign up on Prospel Philippines. So yeah, I see that we already have a number of participants here, no? Let's see. Just a bit of a reminder to get the most out of this event. If you can, please say hi on the chat and mention where you are from. I believe we have attendees from all over the Philippines. I think some are from the northernmost provinces of Luzon. I think we have some from Visayas, and I think we also have some from Mindanao. Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. A lot of you are already very active in joining various virtual job fairs, but I think what's different in this event is that you have an opportunity to really engage with our employers. So please do listen and participate, ask relevant questions, inquire about the company's work culture. How is it like to be part of the company? This is how you can get the most out of this event. For this session, we will be talking about the tips and tricks for you guys, the audience, to make it through in the industry. So take out your pens before you miss anything. All right. So before our speaker introduction, I would like to ask everyone that you have questions that you'd like to ask. You can type it in the Q&A tab, and we'll try to answer as many as possible after our speakers are done. So just park your questions there. All right. Also, here's how our program would flow. So we'll have a panel session for 1 hour where we will be asking relevant questions to our panelists. Afterwards, we will be having a 30-minute Q&A portion for everyone in our panel. And then after that, we will be having two representatives from MegaWorld and Philinvestland to talk individually about how is it like working for their respective companies. All right. After each talk, we'll allot 5 minutes for them to address your questions. Okay, so our panelists here are some of the top professionals in the industry. Some are actually the HR and recruitment heads of their respective companies. So if you want to ask anything about applying to their companies, now is actually the best time. You'll be getting a lot of information that you can use in your application. So I will not keep you waiting. To articulate it better, I think I can give the floor to our speakers to introduce themselves. Our dear guests, maybe you can give a short background, a minute or so from what company and what you are doing in your current role. So maybe we can start with Joanne.
Sure. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm Joanne Bundia, Talent Acquisition Director from Shearwater Health. First and foremost, I'm pleased and honored to be part of the panelists for today. Just a brief introduction about myself. I'm a seasoned HR practitioner, specializing on hiring and recruiting. I started in the business process outsourcing, and now I'm in the CPO, largest CPO in the country today. I am also a targeted selection in behavioral interviewing trainer. I'm also a Six Sigma Green Belt. Something personal about me, I'm happily married, a mom of three. I'm also a vlogger and also an entrepreneur.
Wow.
So I'm all in one. Um, so that's about me. Would you want to have some introduction about the company?
Um, yeah, I think we can go with that.
Okay, so allow me to introduce, Shearwater Health to the participants today. Shearwater Health is a US-based company, and we have CPO offices in Metro Manila and also in Cebu. We employ nursing professionals. So we are an expert provider for a wide range of clinical processes, combining clinical outsourcing with disciplined business practices. So if you're familiar with the BPO, we're similar to that. We're also outsourcing, but our expertise would be on clinical care. So majority of our employees are really on the nursing field. We are the home of clinicians. We're actually the largest private employer in the country that employs nursing professionals outside the hospital or the bedside. Um, we provide US visa sponsorships as well. We do have the American Dream program for those who are aspiring to go to abroad. And we also have the Shearwater University and the Academy program. So a lot of our hires here in the Academy would go through to us for free training and sponsorship to acquire some licenses in either clinical medical coding or further NCLEX certification.
All
Okay.
right. All right. Thank you very much, Joanne. So I think for next we can go with Abigail from TeleTech.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's really nice to be here, and I'm glad to see that a lot of students participated in different parts here. I mean, different parts in the Philippines. Sorry for that. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is Abigail Cinco. You can call me Abby. So I'm one of the senior talent acquisition managers from TeleTech or TTech. So just to give you a brief background, I've been in the BPO industry for almost 10 years. I believe my 10th year will be um, on March 23rd, probably, yeah, that's next week. So just to share, I actually started as an agent, and then I worked my way up, and then I became a senior manager actually this last year. So yeah, those are things that I can share about me. So about the company that I'm currently working with. So Teletech is actually a BPO company, but we're not just a BPO company. We also serve as a strategic partner to our clients with our 49,500 strong customer experience champions across the globe. So our company values are first, act as one. Second is lead every day. Third is reach for amazing. Fourth is seek first understand. Fifth is do the right thing. Integrity is very important, especially for the starters. And then the last one, and I want to put emphasis on this is live life passionately. So the reason why is because we want to make sure that everyone will get to have that fun and inspiring work experience. In fact, Teletech has been Concentric's best employer for 3 consecutive years. And our department, Talent Acquisition, has been recently awarded as the best recruitment team of the year from HRO to the Association for APAC. Sorry, I'm working at home. So you might hear some background noises, but yeah. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much, Abigail. Nice to learn about you and the company. How about we go with Christine from Optum?
Yes, hi, good morning, everyone. I hope you're starting your day very bright. So, my name is Christine Pasha. I'm part of Optum Global Solutions Philippines, and I'm a recruitment manager under the Campus and Graduates program. I've been with my company for almost 10 years already. And being part of Optum Global Solutions Philippines, we are under the umbrella of the United Health Group company, and we rank Fortune 5 out of the Fortune 500 companies. And we are also we have 4 major sites here in the Philippines, one in McKinley and in Taguig and Cebu, as well as Quezon City and Alabang. And we also have about over 200,000 employees worldwide, and locally we are already over 19,000 employees. And locally, you can compare us to healthcare insurance companies like MaxiCare and Telecare, but definitely we are much more bigger in scale when it comes to the healthcare and financing delivery systems. So similarly to Shearwater, we also hire clinicians, registered nurses, and medical coders, but we also have, of course, businesses under technology and also high to medium complex customer service roles.
All right. Thank you very much, Christine. Nice to have you here. And then last but not the least, we have here Rodan from Korn Ferry.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this year's National Career Jumpstart session. So my name is Roden Longkop. I am a associate manager for recruitment marketing, in Korn Ferry. So I've been in the recruitment industry for 5 years now. So just a brief introduction to the company. Korn Ferry is a global recruitment consultancy firm. We are providing recruitment services to clients worldwide. We've been in this industry for 53 years now. We started in 1969. Our main office is actually in California, but here in the Philippines, we only have one office here in BGC. Currently, we're around 8,700 employees. So our hashtag is Be More Than. It's because everyone is inspiring to be more than what a colleague could be. Like we always have the passion to exceed our potential. So thank you, and I hope you learn a lot from us today. Thank you for joining.
All right. Thanks, Reden. For sure, they'll learn a lot from this session. So we do really have a great set of panelists here. As you can see, maybe for some, they'll be the ones doing the final interviews. So for our audience, please do maximize your chance to pick their brains for some useful insight. All right. So to start off with our session, I think this question is in everybody's mind right now. What exactly does the ideal fresh graduate look to you? Or let's say, what would you say are the greatest qualities a fresh grad could have? So maybe we can start with the same order, Joanne.
Sure. You know, I like hiring fresh graduates. You know why? Because they always bring out fresh ideas, new views and perspective that for some people like me who's been, seasoned in this organization won't be able to see it in a different angle. So hiring freshers would provide new and fresh perspective. Um, what I also like about freshers and something that you guys need to know, there's a lot of investment in hiring freshers. So one thing that is ideal for us is to see, their passion, their commitment to learning, because, as a fresher, you'll have to learn a lot of new things, some of the technical concepts that you've learned in school or certifications that you had in the past. And one of the things that we look into is how committed are you? What's your commitment level? Are you passionate to learn and grow in our organization? Though for me, on a personal note, I like hiring fresh grads because they are good learners. They are the most enthusiastic learners that I know. They could, just eager to learn anything and everything. And they're still disciplined, coming from the academe. So it's actually an advantage to hire freshers. And again, if you would be applying for a job, always try to bring out those new and fresh perspective that you can bring in to the table and to the company that you'll be joining.
All right, great. How about you, Abigail?
Okay, for me, the ideal fresh grad, well, let me share something about myself. And this is something that I'm very passionate to share with, especially when we hire a fresh grad. So, well, all of us became a fresh graduate before, but just to share with you, I was actually one of the fresh graduates who had difficulties to land a job in a BPO setting 10 years ago. In my defense, the competition before was really too tough, and the requirements are stringent, unlike before. So we are more open to fresh grads, and there are more opportunities right now compared to before. So for me, the ideal fresh graduate is someone who never gives up, someone who is highly adaptable and passionate to learn and grow. Because if you have those, I can tell you that you will definitely go places in the industry. Like what I shared earlier, I started as a technical support representative and then worked my way up. And I even became part of recruitment in just less than 2 years. So as long as you're passionate on the things that you do, and you show great performance, especially in the BPO industry, you will definitely be promoted. I also noticed that, a lot of fresh grads right now experience culture shock when they started working. That's why I emphasize the word adaptable earlier, because it's something that is very important in the industry. I know that a lot of you knows that in the BPO industry, communication skills and computer skills are very important. But for me, I mean, I've been interviewing for almost 8 years or 9 years. What I really look at is someone who's committed. I mean, I focus on personality. Because if they are trainable, I believe can still endorse them. Just to share as well, in recruitment team, almost 80% of our new recruiters are fresh graduates. I really like those fresh graduates who were able to adapt quickly, and those who are challenging the norms, because we get ideas from them, especially right now we have new generation, Gen Z. So we are getting feedback, especially, I mean, we are getting ideas, especially when it comes to engagement. Yeah, so those are the things that I want to share about that question.
Thank you very much, Abigail. I think parang yung common theme so far, no, is yung enthusiasm, yung energy of our younger generation. Of course, going into the workforce, talagang nandyan yung energy bring something new into the workplace, and of course, willingness to learn so far. All right. How about you, Christine?
Yeah.
What exactly does the ideal fresh graduate look to you?
Yeah. So, Wilfred, actually, fresh graduates, aside from really their ideal fresh grad, really, aside from their critical thinking and problem solving skills, teamwork and collaboration, leadership skills, professionalism, and oral and written communication skills. I mean, these are usually the ones that recruiters really look for in a fresh graduate. But what makes a fresh graduate stand out for me personally would really be the set of values that the fresh graduate would have. I also, at least as a recruiter, I also look into how are they, how their values and also the culture that they have would chime with the company's values, set of values and culture, because that's also an important role that plays when looking for a job. So I hope that when fresh graduates do apply to different organizations, not only should you look for certain qualities that the company have, but also the set of values and culture that the company have, and if they are aligned to you. So an ideal fresh graduate for me would be a fresh grad who has really good values that align to the company. But of course, as mentioned by the other panelists, it's really their willingness to learn as well, and also being open to being trained.
All right. Thanks for that, Christine. How about you, Roden? What does the ideal fresh graduate look to you?
Well, for me as a recruiter, actually, I find it really good to interview with interviewing fresh graduates. It's because I can see a lot of room for training, for improvement. And one thing that most of the recruiters in Korn Ferry are looking for is their teamwork skills and interpersonal skills as well. We are also looking for the excellence in written and oral communication skills, but we're not talking about how you sound in speaking in English, or how you sound in speaking in Tagalog. It's about how you express yourself. So if you know how to express yourself, if you know how to express your ideas, then you can go a long way. So that's for me.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. So I think for our next question, if you had to pick between two strong candidates who are essentially the same level on paper, basically in terms of the resume, in terms of like their maybe academic achievements, or experience, extracurricular activities, they're practically the same. What is going to be the factor that makes you pick one over the other? So maybe this time we can start with Abigail.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that. So, it happens to me most of the time, especially when we're hiring for recruiters and customer service representatives. So, what I really look at is, well, there's actually a lot, but what's important for me is the personality of the candidate. Like what I mentioned earlier, someone who's committed to do the job, someone who's adaptable and has the passion to learn and grow. Because I noticed that most of the candidates, most of the freshers that started and stayed with the company are those who we hired that are very committed and are very passionate on set when we do the interview.
I see. All right. Thank you, Christine.
Yeah, for me, Wilfred, it's also similar to my answer a while ago. It's also really the set of values that the person would have. I mean, we do get a lot of candidates like that here at Optum, especially for our nurses, wherein, of course, they have the same experience in the hospital, but really their willingness and their commitment to the work would really stand out. And we could really see that during an interview. I think also just to add on how they would express themselves during the interview, you can really hear it from their voice and the way that they're passionate about looking for a job or their commitment into the work. You can really hear that during the interviews. So that would really stand out, especially for professionals that apply to Optum. You can hear that because they, of course, take care of patients. So you definitely would hear that during your conversation during the interview. So I think that would be one of the main reasons that would make a candidate stand out, how they're able to really express themselves, they're very passionate with the work that they have, and of course, a set of values and culture that they have.
All right. Thanks, Christine. So I think parang recurring theme, no? Parang most of you are not really focusing on, the hard skills, yung mga, let's say, certifications or things like that. But it's really more on the attitude, the soft skills,
Yes.
communication, attitude, values, culture, and commitment. I think so far that's the most important thing that appears to be, parang most important among all of you, no? So that's very
Definitely.
interesting. Yeah. How about you, Roden? How about for Korn Ferry?
Yes, well, for me, I've interviewed a lot of fresh graduates, and one thing that I mean, let me say a myth that they know is that we are focusing on the school where they are coming from, which is not true. Actually, we are not looking. Well, it's one thing, but it's not the number one priority. You know, um, if we say two resumes have the same competencies by paper, one thing that sets them apart is through the interviews or the behavioral interviews that we are conducting. When you attend an interview, the way you present yourself, the way you dress, the way you talk to the interviewer, especially now that we're working from home, we're doing the interviews from home. You can see how the candidate prepares for the interview, like the setup of the room, the way he presents himself.
Yeah.
It's one
The
thing
little
that I'm
things,
looking for. Yeah, those
Yeah.
little things. It makes a lot of difference. So to all the students here, if you will be attending an interview, make sure to dial in earlier that the interviewer feel the room, even if it's not the actual room, even if in your on the Zoom, it makes you feel easy. It makes you feel more comfortable before the interview starts. And I'm not saying that you have to dress well like the branded shirts and coats and that, wear something comfortable. It's hot in the Philippines, but don't wear sleeveless or shirts, something like that, or shirts. So yeah, that's my advice to the students. Thanks, Wilfred.
All right. Thanks, Roden. So that's a bit of parang interview preparations na din, no? Which I think is
Yeah.
actually parang very underappreciated still by some of the students. So sometimes, yung the little things, yun nga, yung preparation ng room, yung damit, the way you dress up, parang hindi siya masyado nabibigyan ng focus, and sometimes minsan yung mga students natin nagfo-focus lang on maybe their answers, on their intonation, how they speak English, but sometimes yung mga maliliit na bagay, yun yung malaki na contribute in proving to the recruiter that you've prepared for that interview, for that session. How about you, Joanne?
So pretty much, the panelists have shared already similar themes, right? like the behavior, commitment, and motivation that actually put more weight in their application. So in order for you to make sure that you will be able to ace your interview and you'll be able to wow your recruiter, similar to what Rodan has mentioned, prepare, for your interview. Try to fix your CV, highlight your skills, or if you have any certification. Try to do some research as well. Know the company that you're applying for. If you know some people, some of your friends who works for this company, try to ask them, how's the culture? What do you think about the job? So that you have that knowledge already, and you'll be able to showcase yourself, and what it will take for you to be successful as a newcomer, as a fresh employee in the organization that you're trying to apply for. Um, as a targeted selection recruiter and administrator, I always tell the recruiters that I'm certifying, also to our hiring managers, that the CV won't speak for itself. Sometimes the common mistake is we make some judgment because of the CV. But the recruiters are very intelligent now. They don't normally base the decision on the CVs anymore. They look at their behavioral aspect, the overall performance in the interview. And if, for example, still at the same footing, equal footing, a lot of organization would break that through assessments or on the job or role playing. So in any case, for example, that you have to go through an assessment or actual role play, you need to prepare for that. No? If, for example, it's a sales pitch, you need to prepare your sales pitch, do some research, or is it for the actual on-the-job assessment, try to incorporate your learnings from your internship program. Because to us, what really matters, not the only thing that you put in your resume, but how you apply your learning, and what could it be as an advantage if we hire you in our company. So make sure that you prepare.
All right. Thank you very much, Joanne. So yeah, I think for our audience there, we had a good bit of para mga advice and tips na from our recruiters here on how to prepare your resume, how to craft your resume, how to prepare for interview. So I hope you guys are taking notes of that. But yeah, I think like I mentioned earlier, a recurring theme is more on the like soft skills, like culture, work fit, those things. How about more on the hard skills? Are there specific like certifications that you require or recommend for fresh graduates to take to improve their chances of getting considered? Because I think currently there are a lot of like free certifications that you can avail on the internet now. So yeah, nandiyan sila Udemy, nandiyan yung other like learning platforms. So are there specific certifications na parang ma-recommend nyo to our fresh graduates? Maybe we can start with Roden.
Yes, to be honest, Wilfred, currently we are not taking into considerations the certificates that we have, but yes, it could be a plus factor. But even those students who doesn't have those kind of certificates, I mean, and comparing it to those with a lot of certificates, it actually does not affect their application. Yeah.
I see. All right. How about for Optum, Christine?
For Optum, well, it would be dependent on the position that you are applying for. We do have niche positions where you would need certain, let's say you need to be a professional, like a registered nurse, but nothing really in particular that you need a certain certification to join the company. Those are just really mandatory requirements that are needed for certain positions that you would, let's say, need to apply for. So, but Of course, if you would like to develop yourself even further, that's a good suggestion that to really look into certifications online. There are a lot of things online. Again, the internet is very much powerful. So if you'd want to develop yourself even further, or you feel that you'd want to take a certain class or a course online, then do it. Again, there are a lot of free ones online. No one's stopping you. It's really just yourself. So make sure that you're able, if you feel that you'd like to enhance your skills and capabilities, then go ahead, search online. But I also wanted to share that here in Optum, we do also have free trainings for all employees of Optum. We have internal trainings that you can avail of as an employee of Optum. So if you'd like, we can also train you for free in the company.
All right, that's great. That's great to hear. How about for TeleTech, Abigail?
Well, for us, actually, it's not a requirement, but it do helps. If you will highlight that you are certified on certain courses on your resume, so that helps. It's just that it's not really like a big requirement. It's not a showstopper. In our company, you can also take those courses online. You will also get certificates. For starters, I would suggest, well, even if it's not a requirement, I would suggest to take courses, especially for computer skills like Excel training, PowerPoint presentation, improve your platform skills, because that will also help you during your interview.
All right, thanks for that. Joanne?
Yeah, so certification is actually an advantage. No, it's not. It depends on the position that you're applying for, but if you'd ask me, I would encourage our freshers to get some certification. You have a lot of idle time right now, like what Reese, Christine has shared earlier. Internet is very powerful. There's a lot of free training in LinkedIn and Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook groups there that you can join. And honestly, to me, if I see some people or a fresher who really invested on developing themselves and acquiring new learning is a good thing. It says a lot about how committed you are in learning and developing yourself. So I would encourage that, even if it's not really a showstopper right now, it's for your own personal development. Your recruiters will definitely be impressed. Um, in fact, in some roles, it will help you negotiate your salary. It will enhance your credibility as well, your personal brand. And you would have a chance to network with professionals, around your field. And in along the way, you'll get to learn new skills. So I would probably recommend few, and these are very broad and generic regardless what industry you may be in. I think it will help you in your personal development. If you can search for some leadership certifications, something that is hot right now would be analytic courses or data science, business analyst certification. Six Sigma is always, needed in any industry, and project management. Also in Shearwater Health, we have a lot of free training. We actually sponsor. So if you're interested to continuously develop yourself and acquire additional learning, try to look at our career landing page.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. So I think from what I gathered, the certification per se is not really important. No? The paper, the actual paper of the certification, it's not really that important. It's not a showstopper. But what's important is you're looking for ways to improve yourself. So whether that's, let's say you're getting a certificate in public speaking, it's not the certificate that's really important, but the actual improvement that you've done to yourself in terms of being more confident in speaking in front of a lot of people. So it's really more on that rather than the certification or the paper per se. All right, thank you for that. So now I think it's great if we would also delve into our current situation right now with the pandemic, with the restrictions, with the adjustments that we have made. How is your company coping with the current situation, with the lockdowns, with, of course, with COVID, and making sure that your employees are well taken care of? So I think this time we can start with Abigail again from TeleTech.
Okay. Actually, for TeleTech, before the pandemic, of course, what we do is it's face-to-face interview where the applicant needs to walk in and then complete the interview process in 1 day. But of course, last March 2020, everything changes. So what happened is we had to adapt quickly and we had to innovate, even though we were not sure yet what to do on that time. We brainstorm and then check the things that we can do so we can still support candidates even if we are working at home. So what we did really is we changed some of our recruitment process. Of course, instead of doing face-to-face interview, we're doing it now by Zoom. And we feel that it's more convenient because anywhere the applicant can apply, and we actually get more applications right now, especially from starters. We also updated our assessment, so it's more user friendly now, and they can take it using their smartphones, so they can take it anywhere. And it became, I mean, our recruitment process became more convenient now compared before.
All right. Joanne for Shearwater.
Yeah, so post-pandemic, or sorry, pre-pandemic, everything is face-to-face, right? It was much more easier, but 2020 we were forced. And as part of HR recruitment, we need to be quick in adjusting to the current scenario. So everything was done virtual. We were not expecting it, but most of the organization has shifted to virtual. All the interviews, assessment, even the job offers are done virtual. It's something that we really need to invest in changing our selection process. Also, flexibility in the process. If we need to reverse the process, do the virtual interviews first prior to the other assessments, we had to make that change, because we need to, act quick, and at the end of the day, we still be able to hire. Another thing that we did as an organization, at least for our employees, is during the pandemic, we looked into the people, our employees, how many of them can work from home. We are in a healthcare industry, information security is more strict, data privacy. So we had to seek approval from our clients, from our accounts, which accounts can work from home. We have to act quickly, send their machines at home, deliver it to their home addresses. We even assign some pickup points so that they would have their computers and be able to work at home.
Yeah.
For those who are on site, we also offered lodging and free shuttle for our employees. One thing that we also have really invested on would be providing wellness programs. Consistent on providing wellness programs. As you know, mental health is really precious, especially now during pandemic. So we have mapped out, all year round of activities for our wellness programs to ensure that our employees are still not burned out with the work from home. And honestly speaking, we are also preparing already for the new normal, for the back to office. As you know, there are a lot of news that everybody will go back to the office come April 1. And while we are still doing virtual right now, we are already preparing to be back and do the on-site recruiting process.
I see. Thanks for that. Yeah, actually, thanks for raising that. I think parang all over the news nga din, no, na talagang pinapabalik na rin sa office, especially yung mga outsourcing companies. So good to hear that you already have plans on addressing that. How about for Optum, Christine? What is Optum doing to cope with the current situation?
Yeah. So Wilfred, similarly to also the other panelists, so of course, back in March of 2020, we were all very much nervous of what was going to happen since the cases was rising in the Philippines. And so I'm just really proud to say, though, that the business leaders at Optum Global Solutions Philippines were very quick into thinking of ways on how to still continue the employment of the employees of Optum. So what we did was we were able to have the employees, well, the 90% of our non-clinical workforce shifted to a work from home setting, and currently we still are working from home at the moment. We also have been paying full wages. We didn't have to let go of any employees during the whole pandemic and all the different surges. And of course, we were still also able to continue our, similarly to the also other companies, we were able to still continue with our recruitment process by shifting to a virtual process to really ensure the safety and security of not only the employees, but of course the candidates who apply to the company. And also in really living Optum's mission of helping people live healthier lives and to make the health system work better for everyone, we were able to still donate about 10 million into the different parts of Optum around the world. And in the Philippines specifically, we were able to partner with Caritas Manila, so that we were able to donate a sum of money to them so that we can fight the pandemic. And I mean, currently we are still doing the same processes. We are still working virtually. To ensure everyone's safety. But of course, as mentioned by Joanne, we are already having different discussions about shifting to the new normal of going back to the office.
New normal.
But the new normal, right? But I think that what's important is that our business leaders are still thinking of ways on how we can still have a hybrid process, but of course by still following government policies. Of course, that's the number one important thing to do. But of course, we still want to give options to our employees and still have them have the option to work from home. But hopefully, we'll get to find a way and coordinate with the government on that.
All right, great. How about for Korn Ferry, Roden?
Yes. First, I'd like to share that I'm very amazed with how Korn Ferry coped with the pandemic. The pandemic didn't stop Korn Ferry from growing. Actually, in Manila office, we grew to more than 60% during the pandemic. So that means the company is doing great during the pandemic. In March 2020, it was very quick. Like we were, the announcement to, work from home was really quick, and the company was able to um, um, provide the equipment to the employees immediately, work from home, and then convert our processes to virtual all of a sudden. Now, when it comes to the wellness and well-being of the employees, actually, it's not just the employees; it's also the health and wellness of the families of the colleagues. We have partnered with eMindful. So this is an application that the employees can use anywhere, anytime for their well-being programs. We also partnered with Optum. So I'm not sure if Christine is familiar, but we partnered with Optum for our employee assistance program. So this is like a 24/7 support available to all our colleagues and their employees as well. Yeah, thank you, Wilfred.
All right. Thank you very much. So it's nice to hear, no, na yung mga companies natin dito, yung mga panelists, essentially you're all business as usual, pero you're also looking at different ways to really improve then yung like work environment of our employees, whether that's at home or that back at the office or hybrid, whichever is more convenient than for our employees. And of course, that comes then with the other perks and benefits that you mentioned earlier. So siguro din, I think this is one thing na parang nasa isip din ng ating mga fresh grads, no? Kasi as a fresh grad going into the workforce, you just know the names of the companies, all right? You just know Korn Ferry, Optum, or TeleTech, or Shearwater, but you're not really familiar with how work is done in your respective offices. So kung ano ba talaga yung pang-araw-araw na ginagawa ng isang empleyado ng inyong kumpanya. So if you can just share or can you walk us through your employees' typical day at work? Maybe we can start this time with Christine.
Yeah. So a typical day for an Optum employee, Wilfred, would differ a lot. I mean, we do have
Yeah.
several positions in the organization. So I think I can't really just explain one typical
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
of an employee of Optum. But what I can share is really that in a typical day of an Optum employee, they really do bring the values of the company. And when they step into the work that they do, they also really live through the mission of the company, which is to help people live healthier lives and to make the health system work better for everyone. And I'm glad that really the employees are passionate about our mission. And that's also the one thing that we look for in a fresh graduate. If you are aligned with the mission of the organization, then definitely the values that the company has would help you perform even better here in the company. So a typical day again would differ per
Role.
per position and role that
Yeah.
you have, but really what you bring, the values and also how you are being your authentic self, that would really stand out. And it would really be something that you could bring. But again, it's also not just about work in the company, but we make sure that also the employees have different activities. So we do have different employee engagement activities. So it gives the employees work-life balance.
Right. That's great. How about for Shearwater, Joanne? So you may maybe just pick one rule, which maybe is parang yung pinaka-in-demand sa inyo ngayon, or maybe you can just like do a general
The-
walkthrough of their day in the
Yeah.
life.
So it's actually, well, I mentioned earlier that most of our employees are really clinicians, no?
Yeah.
So I guess for you guys to have an overview of what they do, for the coders, medical coders that we have, what they do would be medical chart abstraction. So they look at the medical record, of our patients, our clients, and they do some clinical research as well, and they code them, using their coding certification. While for most of the clinicians that we have, like our PRNs or our USRNs, nurses, they do a lot of utilization management review. For example, they will look at the patient chart, the utilization of their HMO. They will check if this is still within the scope of their insurance policy. They will look at the specific procedures that they have gone through. If these procedures are really needed, they will make some recommendations as well to our clients. So some of our nurses also do remote patient monitoring. So imagine a remote nurse calling you, trying to get your BP, or trying to check if you have already taken your medication, or if you are aware already of your next schedule with your doctor. So we do a lot of that. It's really providing clinical care, to our clients, even if it's remote. So that's the typical, a day in the life of a Shearwater Health employee.
All right. Thanks for that, Joanne. Very, very informative, very detailed. Then, how about for Korn Ferry, Roden? What is a typical day in the life of a Korn Ferry employee?
Yes. Okay, so I'll be sharing about the role that is open to fresh graduates. So we have the junior coordinator role and recruitment coordinator position. So the good thing about this role is you don't actually have the typical day for each and every team, because you have the freedom to be creative about your time management. But most of the colleagues that I've spoken with regarding this, they mentioned that they start their day having breakfast and checking their emails. So there are colleagues who because right now we're still working from home, hybrid setup. So when they are having breakfast, they do it like on Zoom with their colleagues, like for updates. They call it kumustahan. So that's in very first thing in the morning. Then after that is checking emails. After that, they will be receiving requests from their stakeholders already. So the recruitment coordinators here in Korn Ferry are those who do scheduling of interviews, database management. So it's more on the admin tasks in Korn Ferry. So after that, they are also having these meetings with their managers at the end of the day. But the good thing about this role is we have several employee engagement programs that we do weekly and monthly to keep them engaged. And as mentioned earlier, they have the they have the freedom to be creative about their um, time management so that it would not be very, um, very strict to the administrative tasks only. So they will enjoy their job as well.
Yeah, that's
Thank
great.
you.
So parang ano no, hindi ka naman talaga tututukan as long as you're producing the output,
Yes.
ikaw bahala sa time mo din. And I heard you have yung parang kumustahan. So I think that's similar
Yes.
to parang on the actual office setting, yung parang sa pantry, no, na nagkakwentuhan
Yes.
muna, kamusta ka? And yeah,
Mhm.
actually, that's something na parang little thing lang, parang small thing lang, pero actually malaking bagay siya in creating relationship then with your colleagues, creating relationship with the management, with your boss. So that's great that you have that as well. Abigail, how about for TeleTech?
I've been thinking about it because it's really broad. I mean,
Yeah.
it differs because we have a lot of programs. Like we have hotel reservations, we have customer service, we have tech support, and all. Even in recruitment, it's a different setup. But siguro for our customer service representatives, we have to say we're operating I mean we have work on site setup and then we have work at home setup. So for of course for work on site we make sure that we have the safety protocols in place and that is being followed before they start the shift. Of course they will be also greeted by our facilities team, everyone, and even their team leaders of course. Majority of their time, they will focus on clients providing excellent customer experience. But of course, it's not only about that. The team leaders make sure that these employees are engaged and they also monitor the performance. We have an online platform in TeleTech where existing employees can access career opportunities within the organization. Like 60 to 80% of our um, promoted employees are internal, so we rarely get candidates externally. That's why I'm very big earlier um, on employees growth. So on top of that, we also have different webinars. We have that I mean, we have that, and our engaged team is very um, active, so that the employees can join.
All right, thanks. Thanks for that, Abigail. So yeah, before we proceed lang siguro with my final question, just a gentle reminder to our audience to stick around until the end of the session, because I will be showing the QR code which you can scan and where you can claim your e-certificate. So please do stand by. And also, we still have two speakers coming up from Mega World and Philinvest Land rather. So please just stay and siguro yung final question ko na lang sa ating mga panelists before we proceed with the questions from our audience, which I'm seeing na ayan, medyo pumapasok na. So if you have additional questions, type in lang kayo sa Q&A tab natin. All right, so in one sentence, why should students apply with your organization? What makes your company unique? So siguro baka hindi kasya siya sa one sentence lang. So siguro mga 2 to 3 naman. Can we start with you, Roden?
Yes.
Right.
Thank you, Wilfred. You should apply for Korn Ferry if your goal is to be more than just a colleague. You will become a partner, a friend, a family. At Korn Ferry, especially for fresh graduates, when you are making your first move in your professional life, I can see that there's no better place to start with your career than Korn Ferry. We have the early career graduate training programs like Startup, Talent Academy, and Career Accelerator program for you to find the best career path for you. So yeah, we will be helping you achieve your potential and be more than. So thank you.
All right. How about for Shearwater, Joanne?
Yeah, so Shearwater is, like I mentioned earlier, we are the largest private sector that employ nursing. So if you're into nursing, if this is your field, we are the home of clinicians. We, as a strategy, we really do put a lot of effort in our build program. So even freshers are welcome to apply to Shearwater Health because we have a strategy to build the talent internally. We provide training, we provide academy, free sponsorship for your licenses. And while you are in training, you are already paid. And there is an increase in your pay once you have successfully passed your certification. So if you are in this field, Shearwater Health would provide you a lot of opportunities, even if you're a fresh graduate. So feel free to join our career page if this is what you're looking for.
All right. Thanks for that, Joanne. Abigail, how about for TeleTech? Why should students apply with TeleTech?
Okay, actually for TeleTech, we are very proud with our culture. Our company is diverse, and we make sure that when we hire candidates, we remove our biases. So it's something that good for starters, especially if they want to be promoted, if they want to build their career. It's a good. TeleTech is a good company for them.
All right. Thanks for that. Christine?
Yeah. So for us, if you'd like to be part of the largest healthcare company and also really jumpstart your career, you can apply here at Optum. We also do have several positions under our clinical technology and also customer service businesses. So if you'd like to see more of our opportunities, you can look into our career website at workatoptum.com and also our career page at Prospel. And it's not only just, of course, the work that you do, but also the set of values that you have. So just make sure that if you feel that you are aligned to our culture and values and mission here at Optum, then definitely we'd want to welcome you to our organization. Thank you.